Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Do Andrew Conspiracy. We have myself, Mr. Andrew, and my lovely co-host, Mr. Do.
Rise and smile, and it's Dr. Due today because we're going to finish the Operation Commandrew from Earth to Gaia that's been going on for the last 2 weeks.
Okay, all right. However you prefer to be referred to. Um,
Well,
okay.
they're just different levels of due.
No, I understand.
It's all due, but
It's all
it's
due. Different levels. No, that's great. And so we're diving into today's conspiracy with some movement. We're gonna get some somatics, as they say. You know, shake out some of that energy. We always talk about getting out the wiggles, but we're actually gonna get out the wiggles. And we're gonna play Dude's favorite motivational song at the moment. Would you care to introduce it?
it's called Underdog by Green Day. But the thing is the first line is, "I'm not number one, but I'm second to none." And that basically has become my philosophy. But I also find that subconsciously, subliminally, when I'm singing, I want to be your underdog. I also slip into I want to be your number one. So that's uh that's sort of like a background to the song. And let me just get it on my phone, and let me
Make
get it
yourself a
out of
little
my.
dance floor if you can.
Everybody try to stand up, and you can turn off your camera if you think you're going to look silly. But that's part of
Turn
the
off your.
fun.
They're watching on the internet. Some of them are
I,
audio only, so
I'm used to Zoom. I'm used to Zoom.
we're
So
the we're the only ones looking silly here. So
okay, so here we go. We'll do. Uh, I wanna be your underdog. I wanna be your underdog. I wanna be your underdog. Nicky Mantle, the underdog.
we don't know.
I think that's enough for the moment, but thank you, Andrew, for joining me in a little somatic movement. And that was a conspiracy exercise because jumping around like that makes you take deep breaths and
Yeah, that was great. We did a lot of that kind of thing during the retreat in Atlanta, and it is such a good way to move energy and release. And I mean, it teaches you to just be comfortable in your body and maybe care less about what other people might be thinking, because who gives a shit. And
right.
I'm still easing into it. I probably have a little more loosening up to do, but I've made a lot of progress in that regard, and just making it feel normal and natural, and comfortable and happy. And so yeah, I'm here for it. I'm glad that.
Just as an aside, whenever I don't scroll Facebook or Instagram much anymore, but every time I do, I see advertisements for Tai Chi over for men over 50. That's basically my own Tai Chi that I've developed.
Yeah. Yes. I do have like a morning flow practice that I do, and we did one of the things, right? We did the full body taps. But there's just some little things like that. I do arm circles too, just to keep the shoulders loose. Like you gotta move it or you lose it, basically, right? And we are given these bodies to to get us around in the world. So the better they can do that,
Right.
uh, the more fun we get to have.
I attribute my own good health to 3 flights of stairs up and down 6 to 10 times a day for the last 44 years in my
That,
walk-up apartment.
yeah, dude, that's significant. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
But so tell us about your travels. Give us an on-the-road report, Moriarty.
Yeah, as you can maybe tell, I'm still in Chattanooga. It's a much calmer day today, so the wind chimes aren't making quite as much noise. They were they were a little obnoxious at times, but anyway, yeah, still in Chattanooga, and today is a beautiful day. Holy cow! And it's been a lovely time. Mostly, primarily spent with my sister-in-law Bailey and her young Davis while she's brewing kid number two.
Okay.
She's like
How's that feel?
she's like 7 months pregnant, so it's she's showing pretty well and it's getting closer. So it's been fun. Like she's had like her little to do list, and I've been helping her with that around the house, expressing some of my masculine gifts. And
Yeah,
I'm
tell us about what you did.
okay.
It's very impressive.
Well, like she had a drawer for her garbage pails, right? And it was like not operating very smoothly, so she ordered a new one, and I was helping install that, and I got to get everything just. I mean, I'm a bit of a perfectionist when I'm doing a project, especially for someone else. Even like, I probably wouldn't even have tried as hard for my own stuff,
Right.
but because I was doing it for someone else, I wanted to be really proud of what I was giving them. I positioned it perfectly, under centered under the door, flat against the cabinet, the door, and it was sliding in and out so smoothly and satisfyingly. And then I re-leveled the dishwasher because the top rack was rolling out every time you were trying to put stuff in, and it was so annoying. And
Right.
it's a small thing that you kind of put up with.
How'd you re-level the washing machine?
I mean, I just you pull off the front panel, and there's these little feet. There's usually 4 feet that go down. Of course, there was a drain hose that was like underneath the support, so that was making it a little cockeyed too. So I got the drain hose out of the way. I rolled up the feet, and then got it level and screwed them back down in position, and put the cover back on. And
Magic.
magic. I mean, it's such a like small thing, but also not right. That repetitive just nuisance,
Right.
it starts to accumulate just a little bit in your mental energy that you expend throughout a day.
Yeah.
And so go ahead.
And as you said, it also is like a reinforcement of your masculine ingenuity and the support that you can give as a masculine.
Well, yeah, it's been a good demonstration of what it looks like, right? Like, not that, and we're talking masculine, we're not talking male, just to be clear, right? It's just people who have more masculine tendencies expend less energy doing tasks that we assign with a more masculine tilt, right? I think there's nothing wrong with that way of categorizing things. And it feels true. And when I explained that to my sister in law, it really resonated with her. She never really thought about it from that angle. So that was really cool that I got to offer that to her. Like, oh,
Right.
that's why that task is so stressful for me, or why I just don't want to even have to think about it, is because it's a much more masculine task that maybe my
Right.
husband should do.
Right.
And
I, uh,
so
I didn't mean to interrupt you, going.
no, it's just about using the energy of the family unit in the most efficient way possible, right? That's what it comes down to. And so that can look however it looks to you, but maybe just think about it in that paradigm is where are we collectively, since we're a team and we're co-creating, where are we expending our energy and are there leaks? Are we leaking it unnecessarily? And if we are, can we fix those leaks to just make life easier. And thinking about life from that perspective in a team, in a unit that does require a certain level of cohesion, it seems
Well,
useful.
the leaks are usually an imbalance between the partners. Some sort of like, masculine, feminine
Or
disalignment.
like, yeah, or like resentments that have built up over the years that haven't been healed, that kind of thing. So,
Of course, wounds are, well, wounds is like different than the masculine, feminine,
well, it just
balance.
plays a role, right? When the masculine has been expressed from a wounded place, or the feminine been expressed from a wounded place, it can create these like trauma wounds.
Right.
Like just like I'm not going to go there because I don't want to get into a fight type, and then it stifles your expression and bah bah bah, and it's no good. So.
Like that gets back to what you were saying a couple of weeks, a couple of shows ago about at the retreat how you approach stories as a wound or as a scar.
I mean, it was so brilliant because yeah, when you're expressing from the wound, it's still open, it's still being dealt with, or hasn't been dealt with. There's been stuffed away, right? But you can feel that expression like that. You're still in the middle of it because you're not the hero yet. You haven't overcome it, and when you've gone on the other side and you've overcome, then you have a different story to tell.
Well, the thing about me was basically within the last month to 6 weeks, I really like transitioned my story to one of I'm not going to say victor, but integration rather than complaint, and you know, integration rather than victimhood, and that's really like the mate. I want to thank you, Andrew, because this podcast has been like the greatest vehicle for my growth I've ever had in my life. And even though we've only done this is only the 26th episode, that's still a lot. But my friend Saul came and I said, it's just been like so liberating because I've been in therapy for 50 years, but nobody ever let me express myself fully. And that's what I do on the podcast. And I just thank you for giving me the space. And of course, we always have to bear in mind that if we disagree, we aren't misaligned. And and so I just want to say thank you for that. And ultimately, maybe it's time for a poem. I I decided to take
Hey,
one.
just pause for 1 second. I
Oh,
just wanted
sure.
to offer a brief reflection. I appreciate your words, Dale, and it is affirming to hear, but it's also I wanted to offer up a similar perspective because having this space is important, and it's almost like there's a masculine structure around it because of the podcast aspect of it. Like there's a schedule and a routine, and like a point in time where it's going to happen, and that sounds like a weird way to structure a friendship, but it's a perfectly natural way to structure a podcast. But it's the same, you know. And so we're adding structure to our friendship, and I think it's helping both of us in our evolution because we're getting this consistent reflection from someone we can trust and someone who like is not contributing in a way like not distorting reality, is speaking truth. And that those relationships are the good shit, man, and I love you.
Well, I love you too, and you know, and basically, you're the first male friend of, and this is why you're number two on the Dialina. You're the number two male on the Dialina. You're the first male friend New Dale has had, and all my old friends, they they were in it. They were into me for something they could get out. And that's why I really treasure your friendship, Andrew, is because I know we're on an equal bar where you're trying to get nothing from me by being sincere with me.
Facts. Good. I'm glad we're on the same page. Woo! All right.
So I think that ties right into the poem. It's a love poem that's in my first collection, Seraphim on the Cusp of Spring. I'm not sure exactly when it was written. I think it was basically written between like 2012 and 2014. But I used to be a master like this type of poems. So for you alone are queen. The breadth of the bust, the beauty of the body, the velvet of the voice, the ideal of the eyes, the spark of the smile, the length of the legs, the features of the face, the lilt of the laugh, the mystery of the mind, the wisp of the waist. Inspire this artist to create great works of creation, but every man can perceive only one unique muse, as solitary visions roam over landscapes full of past temptations that have no more meaning, except in their absence while gladly embraced. The rest of the planet vanishes into shades of indescribably sensual union, beyond any poetic expressions inadequate to convey the emotions of the grace of your divine reality in the world.
Wow. Dang, bro. You went for it on that one. I felt that one for sure. And you had good timing on that one. There was some breaths.
Right, right.
Whew. All right.
But just in case people say that I can't write romantic poetry, that
No,
just
you
wasn't
did it.
meant.
You did it. Yeah.
And not only am I trying to bring back sanity, I'm trying to bring back true poetry. And
Yeah.
rhyme is not a crime.
No, you spoke to it right. That warrior poet. That's a general archetype that is absolutely needed, and I witnessed it firsthand. That was I don't know if I mentioned that in the previous episode, but there was a moment when we were called into a circle by gender, and there was like six males and like 70 females, and
Right,
the males still had a powerful presence in that room, but it just made me aware of like the suppression of the feminine within the male form is
right,
still very real, and just as it is in the female form as well. And so it's a rising of the feminine in all of us to bring more balance to this structure. That's what we're doing. And it's been, I mean, we talk about the patriarchy, whatever. I mean, I don't care what label you want to give it, but there's balance that's been needed for a very long time, and we're here to do it. And we're doing it. That's what we're calling this episode, right? This is the takeover, and I think it's the takeover of the feminine. I don't know how else to put it. Like
right.
cannabis is part of that journey for me, right? Like it helped me tap into this deep feeling state that I had been stifled by modernity.
Right, right. I you said something very uh there was a thought that like was brilliant that just slipped away, but we'll keep talking. But yeah, so I agree. It's not the integration. Well, one thing that I came to another I'm journaling now, so I've been coming up with all sorts of good quotes and everything. And uh, one of the things that I came up with is the kingdom allows you to explore everything, but the only thing we're study is the inner realm.
Yeah, I like that. That's really good. That's good. Yeah, that's the in the world but not of it. We're having our experience that we desire for ourselves, and then we participate in the rest of it to the degree it we can feed into something positive. That's kind of where I'm at, and And
So
that Christedness too. I think that's part of it also. People talk about the return of Christ. That's literally just I think that's just the incarnating the frequency of.
absolutely, and I mean, well, first off, genius is Jesus on the Dialina. Geniuz. He's the top human avatar on the Dialina. So basically, he's running the Dialina. So basically, when you're talking about Jesus coming back, I went over this with the Bible study with Earl last night. We looked at like when Jesus comes back and everything in Revelations and everything, and they're
Yeah.
talking about him being on a horse and having like the forces of heaven behind him on horses and everything coming out of the clouds.
Uh huh.
Let me tell you, Jesus is a lot more advanced than horses at this point. So, uh, you know, so
Well, that's the
basically,
point. We don't need to attach to this book that was written, like.
well, that's the whole thing, Andrew, and that's really what I'm talking about is genius as an archetype, and this is really what I think we can really focus on at this point is we are the new age is a new age of completely new archetypes. The archetypes of the warlord and what's gone up to this point in humanity, whether it's the devil, God, the high priest. I mean, just look at the tarot. That those are like that's a catalog of archetypes, and basically, I had two revelations. First off, the whole lie of DNA is that we are confined to being three-dimensional beings, whereas actually everybody is a multi-dimensional being going through the quantum, going dale to dale through the quantum soup. And secondly, the I just forgot the second thing, but basically, it's okay. But given that quantum soup, then everybody's a reflection, and but oh, I know what was archetypes. So basically, the new age. Yesterday, just in 5 minutes, I created the outline for a new tarot. I just wrote down like 25 archetypes that people can make cards about and like or do a tarot for. And people make tarot decks all the time. So, but but the point I'm getting to is archetypes are why we are here. That's why we're at the beginning of Gaia, because we're building the archetypes of a whole new world, which is based on Earth, but it's actually Gaia. Earth is the first three dimensions. Gaia is the next three dimensions, the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensions. And basically, what we're doing is helping. And it's not just you and me. It's really like everybody, because this is a collective awakening. Everybody is creating from themselves their own archetypes to follow through in the life that's coming in the new age on Gaia.
Yeah, bro, brilliant. Hell yeah, I love that. I love that shit. That sounds true. It feels true. Feels true. No, there's a leadership energy, right? Like where we might not like. Well, I don't know. I don't want to project, but like, yeah, we're early adopters of
Right.
this higher, idea of these higher frequencies, and so we are helping bring it in. And if archetypes are useful to the extent they're useful, yeah, I suppose we are embodying something like that. I'm so I don't get it. I've never my Instagram bio literally says no bio can contain me
Right.
because like an archetype is another label you slap on something, and then you actually lose some of the
Well,
essence of what it is. I don't know. I don't know how much clarity it adds.
of course, anytime you name something, you give it form and take it out of formlessness, and therefore bring it into matter, and therefore make it concrete, and therefore, there is like a translation problem, but
I mean, it's
because
literally adding density, isn't it?
no, because actually it's adding light, because if you can see it, so an archetype is a is basically a concrete program in the subconscious that helps you perceive how reality is going. And for the last basically 5,000 years, we've been we've been sort of like transfixed. The world has been transfixed by this this idea of a one God that we have to worship, and that has created not only the church and everything that is associated with that and everything, but it's also created a whole dynamic of archetypes that are no longer valid. And that's what we've been doing in the last 3 weeks
Yeah,
is
we can delete some programs. That's fine. I'm happy with that. Yes, absolutely. There's some old programs need to be deleted. There's no point in rewriting the code or fixing it. Just poof. What is it? Poof. Is that what you're saying?
poof. Yeah, no explosion, just poof.
Yeah, it turns into like dust or that just
Right.
disappears into infinity. Yeah, I'm okay. We'll see. I mean, it's fun to have these discussions. I mean, I'm sure both are valid perspectives, and I'm sure they appeal to different people. And if whatever works for you, I'm more than happy to let you have. That's fine. But
That's that,
but
that, that
but but religion is the worship of Satan. I'm gonna keep saying it.
it is. And it, Satan's created the church to instill fear in humanity
Correct.
of eternal and
Call it.
we
They
won't go
call
into
it love. They call it love, but it feels a lot like hate sometimes.
right.
Sometimes.
Well, I don't know if you said this, but I think you did actually. But you said I feel that most Christians today would be the first one to put the nail in Jesus' hand if he was crucified again. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
he was literally hanging out with the whores and like the worst people. Like he was
Right,
partying with these people. He was getting people drunk at weddings. Like,
right,
I mean, bro, like, I mean, we can look at it from every facet you want. There's a missing 18 years. No one wants to talk about what the hell he was doing. He just was, what, twiddling his thumbs during those
right.
18 years? Come on, guys. Like, what happened?
Uh, as I said, in the future, I'm projecting they're going to say what happened to Dale's lost half century.
And that's fine, right? But that point is, you gotta be gullible as fuck to not question why there's 18 years missing.
Right.
And, there seems to be a lot of information in the field about how he traveled to China and India, which is very plausible. And he learned from other, philosophies.
Higher teachings and stuff.
Yeah. And he tapped into something true and beautiful and real. And then he brought it back, and they maybe killed him for it.
Right. Well,
It's a pretty
this
plausible scenario.
well, this is to be honest, Andrew, this is why I have no regrets about all that I've been through, because having seen what they did to Jesus, to God, back 2,000 years ago, I was subjected to the same type of crucifixion, but not physically, but for 50 years mentally, to try to like get me to shut up and change my mind. And but the joy is, having been through the whole journey, I have proved that God is every man, and therefore every person is their own self creator, and rather than looking for external judgment, just pursue internal acceptance and love and joy.
Yeah, I just want to give people a minute to sit with that because that's what it is. That uncurable psychotic bliss. And
The chapter light going through everything.
that's the whole conspiracy. I think we're done. The show's over. We're ending it at
Not
25.
at all. We have to explain the Dewey. That was our mission. This is part of the takeover. Is explaining the Dewey. You
Well,
know.
the takeover is taking over reality,
Right.
creating it in our own image.
Right. Through our
And
presence.
correct. And our co-conspirators, our audience, is helping build this new experience, this new reality. And like I was explaining before the show, it's not even a new reality. We're just tapping into something individually that individually we haven't tapped into before. But
Right.
Jesus tapped into it. That's the point. He tapped into it. And so we're doing that here now. And he did it then, at least as how we perceive time and space currently. But it's all here now. So we are it and he was he. So like is that, I don't know, that's what you were saying before, right? I'm not number one, but I'm second to none. That's what
Right.
it is, guys. Like
And the other thing about Jesus is he he lived to the very end his vision, and that's why he's the only human incarnate other than Dale. At, well, that's why he's genius on the Dialina. So basically, he's the like highest human incarnation that's ever been. And I'm I just I Gene when I would go through my hardest times, I'd just say trust in genius, and he never let me down. But you know people talking about having a personal relationship with Jesus. And they think, they say, well, I pray to him 23 hours a day. That's not having a personal relationship. I mean, that is a personal relationship, but it's not one like I have where I've integrated basically Jesus into my body so that I I naturally am in communion with him.
yeah,
And that's why I call it genius.
right. And it removes this word try from your vocabulary because you're not trying. It's not doesn't require effort. It is you. You are it.
Right.
And it becomes your filter for reality. And when your filter for reality is that or something close to it at least, then I don't know. I try hits my ear and I'm just like, what are you doing? No, to stop trying. Either you're doing it or you're not doing it. That is
Right.
there's no trying.
Try to sit down.
Fucking try to sit
Try
down.
to sit down.
I like it. Yes. All right, you want to dive into this calendar thing now? Is that what we're doing?
Well, unless you want to continue with this, I meant, I think, I think it's instructive for us to like express what our true feelings about Jesus are or about Christ are, because that's a lot more important than the calendar at this point. The calendar's sort of like a, uh, uh, distraction to the depth that we're dealing with. But basically, so as I said, the kingdom allows you to explore everything, and the problem is that most people use the kingdom to explore the wrong things. But and the
No, they're
external,
exploring what everyone else is telling them to explore. Like I'm watching it in real time with a toddler. He's being told what to explore.
right? And you told me that he had a spaceship, and his mother was like trying to put him down for it, right?
Well, um, yeah, I mean it's like a clarification of reality, but this kid is experiencing reality from a different perspective. And I've literally told her at least twice. I'm like, I think my consciousness is closer to his than it is to yours.
Right.
Like real talk. He refers to himself in the third person a lot, which I think is so cool. Like instead of past tense, he'll say he pet the dog, he kicked the ball,
Right.
right? And
Eternal present.
yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool. So she mentioned that, and she's like, "Should I try correct his grammar?" And I'm like, "No, it's actually not, he's using correct grammar. You just don't fucking get it."
Right. Well, this actually is something we haven't really talked about lately, but or basically talked about at all. But I found this parents of children with adults with schizophrenia Facebook group, and I decided to really instead of just being lazy and like not trying to find out level of clients and everything. So long story short, I've been engaged with this Facebook group, and I just come at it from like a whole different perspective. But one thing that I'm learning just reading the posts and like how so many parents just seem hopeless, and there's nothing I can do, and he's got agnosignosia, and he doesn't take his pills and everything. And it's like I've just been like, I've been answering like individually people and just saying, why have you ever thought of what if they're like, oh, I actually did a post on THC on this group. So but basically, you know I said, you're always like basically hysterical over the use of marijuana, but have you ever just tried to like smoke a joint with your loved one and see what happens? Instead of being so fucking fearful that he's going to go psychotic and he's going to kill you or something because you smoked a joint with him. And I mean, to me, you know, this is the whole essence of Live Love, which is mentoring parents and like helping them to see that their own myopia and their own lack not only of self-belief but also their own belief in the hopelessness of their children is preventing recovery. And I'm actually I hope to do a podcast on Monday with this lady, and it's it would have been my mother's I think 94th birthday. So I'm really planning to like first off make this like my last solo interview as a guest podcast as a guest on the podcast, because we got this, and this is our podcast. So if people want to find Dale, they can come here. But anyway, but otherwise, I'm really I really want to like explore on this podcast the relationship between my mother, myself, my need for independence, and my use of marijuana, and also just like the dynamic of schizophrenic parent relationships.
Yeah, no, there's a lot there, but I know all those things are a big part of the mission, and it makes. I mean, that's what we're bringing in. That's part of what we're bringing in, and I feel all that, especially the resistance around cannabis or solutions in general. Right? There's almost this
Right.
resignation, this like that hope is going to expend energy, or not even hope, like even just an allowance for a shift in reality is like too much for people to like hold. And woo, that's so sad, right? And so like how do you kind of get past that? How do you bridge that gap to make it really accessible to people? And it's like going to the gym or something. You go to the gym, the first day is the hardest, right? And but once you get over that hump of like making the decision to maybe explore a better way to be, right? Or at least a perspective that Duke can offer that might give you like more peace or
Well,
tools, right, to manage or to learn from it. I feel like could be really helpful. So
well, I think you're overlooking a big gift that you're coming across, which is that people reflect our vibration. So no matter what your your news media or whatever is telling you, both you and I are experiencing an ideal reality because our vibration is ready to receive the love of other people. And therefore, and your three experiences, driving to Atlanta and everything, that's proof of that. But just to give two quick examples, uh, yet 2 days ago, there was like there was a big electric truck, like doing wire work, and so I'm walking up, and there's a car coming up, and this cop like jumps in front of me, says, "Everything cool," and like stops the car so I can cross the street. Thank you. And and then the other thing, I mean, this besides the fact that I received a totally unexpected incredible gift from Social Security, but we won't go into that. That's my private finances. But the other thing was so that there's like a parking line, in front of the church on my street. So basically, if you park behind the sign, you're safe. If you park in front of the sign, you get a ticket. So basically, I think it was just like someone like DoorDash or Uber Eats or something. But anyway, they were parked in front of the sign, and I just like sort of like tapped on the window and said, he said, yes, and I said, you might want to park behind the sign because otherwise you'll get a ticket. And she says, "Oh, thank you very much." And and that's the whole attitude. We that that's the whole idea behind neutronic bombs is the structures are the same, but the poof people have poofed, and now we're on a completely different age and level of awareness where fourth dimensional where the fourth dimensional dialogue is the basic dialogue. And just to
I mean, every person I've experienced in the last 3 weeks, everyone, all of them. Can I emphasize that more? Has been like legit angel status. Like
right.
the most kind interactions. Even when they're correcting me from the most kind perspective possible. And so, yeah, we're here. Join us. It's quite nice.
Well, I told you about my experience at my regular one of my regular dinner places, right?
I think you did. Yeah.
I think I told you, but I don't think I told people. But so anyway, backstory is I have like it's Cafe Tropical in Hackensack. It's an Ecuadorian little restaurant that I eat at all the time, and so basically I ordered a omelet for what I thought was 7.50, but when I paid for it, it was 10.50. So I didn't say anything, because they love me as Dewey and everything. I'm Dewey to they're my Dewey connection in Hackensack. So I didn't say anything, but I went there 2 days later, and I'm still like a little annoyed, but anyway, so I only have like enough for a cup of coffee, right? So I get a nice cup of coffee, and then the owner, this beautiful lady named Yvonne, comes out with a plate of baked chicken and says, "You want Dewey? I made it just for you." So I said, "Sure, you know." So she leaves, and it literally was the best chicken I'd ever had in my life. I mean, I grew up on fried chicken, but this baked chicken was just like out of this world. So basically, I went up and wanted to thank her for it, and she came back and she says, "You want another?" So so then she brings me another beautiful baked breast with rice and beans. So long story short, I eat like I always eat everything, but so I got 2.75 for the coffee, and she's like, "Thank you,"
Yeah.
and and then the next day I get my SSA, my Social Security check out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A little bonus for the old bank account. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, you were very excited when you shared that with me. That was a fun moment. Yeah, I mean, it's happening. It's here. So, like, what do you want? I don't know. I mean, do you want? Does this sound fun? Are you already doing it? And if you are, please share in the comments
Am
what
I
you
doing what? Oh, you telling me?
are. We doing kingdom shit or not? Right?
We, right.
And if we're
And
doing kingdom shit, I want to hear about it. I want you guys to tell us about what your kingdom experiences are like, and really build some momentum around this idea, this reality, and 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 continue the conspiracy that could continue to spread it.
well, that that's a whole idea.
That's
I
the
don't know.
idea
I'm
of the
I
takeover.
think I'm getting old, Andrew.
Uh
I
oh.
think it's just like flit through and it's split in and out, but it could
No,
just be
you know
my
what it is. You didn't eat lion's mane mushrooms all summer, and I did.
Oh, okay. That's what I need.
I
Actually,
mean,
Dove
placebo or
doesn't
it's not, but
Dove
I'm
coffee
smarter. Hmm?
doesn't Dove coffee like have a lion's mane?
I don't know. I'm. Here's where I'm at. The closer to the source I can get it, the better. And so, if it looks like a lion's mane, it tastes like a lion's mane, then it is. And if it's just a label on a bag, I don't. Maybe I don't know.
Right. Very good idea. But we don't get many mushrooms in Hackensack.
Well, do you have a fancy grocery store in town or anything?
Uh, not that I go. Well, actually, we have like three grocery
Well,
stores.
you might be surprised. I went with my sister-in-law to her. It was a Food Smart or something. I don't know. Anyway, they had lion's mane, and I bought it for her. And we made some lion's mane mushroom sauce for our filet mignon, and
Right.
she said it was her favorite part of the meal. She liked the mushrooms more than the steak.
So, have you ever heard of sea moss?
It sounds familiar. I'm
It's like a superfood. They're like but anyway, so I've been getting it from this place called True Sea Moss for about 5 months, and I get 2 bottles every month, and I take 2 tablespoons a day. But there's this store, I think I told you about this, called Sea Moss Factory in Hackensack, and so with my newfound wealth, I bought a 2 week supply of sour sop sea moss, and also I bought charcoal and black seed detox.
Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. It's funny. My buddy Blaine called me and he said he was fasting today to kind of help with the detox. So maybe there's some detox energy in the air. Yeah. I feel relatively untoxed so far.
I do too.
Okay, but that's my experience. I did take that. Well, anyway. So yeah. Okay. Well,
You did take what?
that Hape.
Oh, right.
But
I,
even
I,
then, I
I
didn't.
actually think I did that one time in Hackensack with there was this guy in in my building who used to be in the army, and then he had Indian roots, and so I think he did hoppe one time with me. I'm just saying it's tobacco, and it's like, holy cow, what was that? That
Bro.
was a peace pipe.
Woo! Yeah, it hit hard and fast and threw me on the ground. Literally, I couldn't stand up without me getting dizzy. So uh, we'll see. Like I said, it was an experience. I don't regret it by any means. I don't regret anything. That's not
Right,
possible. But uh, I don't know if I'll be doing it again anytime soon.
right.
But yeah, I
So,
shit real good, man. I got cleansed for sure, and it wasn't like uncomfortable. It was quite nice. So, but the nausea was not nice. So
right.
yeah.
So, well, we got about like 10 minutes before an hour, so we can either explain the week, close with a poem, or, just basically have a closing discussion. But I think so far we've wrapped up things pretty well for this discussion.
I agree. I agree. No,
But
let's talk. Let's. I mean, if you want to dive into the calendar, I don't know. Do you want to? I mean,
I do want to dive into the calendar.
all right, let's
So,
do it.
okay, so this is the do calendar. This is something that I developed after the death of Dale in 1984, when which on September 26th, 1984, we had the death of Dale, where I saw the thermoneutronic incineration of Earth in my brain. And I called that the death of Dale. So that's when this calendar actually began being chronicled. And I kept, as you can see, I have like 20 calendars where every year I did a day by day a record of the due calendar. So it's well documented, and it's really a very simple calendar because it goes. There are 9 months. There are 8 days a week. So, and there are 5 weeks in a month. So that makes 40 days on even months. And then on odd months, first, third, fifth, seventh, and ninth, you have a free day at the end of the month to catch up with whatever you need to do, or just to make love with your loved one. But and that's the whole idea of the new calendars, to be able to stay home with your significant other, and rather than worry about money, get on the due economy, and just really create some wealth just by being in your loved one's arms all the time. So, uh,
God, this guy, he's going full romance mode. I love it.
so, so basically, there are 8 days in a week, 5 weeks in a month, and if you do the math, 41 days even months, 41 days odd months, 40 days even months, it comes out to 365. So basically, this mirrors exactly the Gregorian or whatever calendar you follow. And actually, the uh, the interesting thing I didn't realize when I started with the first month on September 27th is that it's very close to Jewish major holidays. So that's another synchronicity. So um, let me just I'll get I'll get I'll get this first.
You have the days nailed down, right? You know, you got your days of the
Okay, yeah,
week.
we'll just do the days. So basically, the idea is that we still have a 5 day love week. I meant not work, mission, but at the beginning of every week, do defines the ideas to build the Dale for the week.
Yeah.
So Dale defines the mission for the week. And this week's mission is bring Dewey Death home. So, because he can't, he appeared last weekend, but we need Dewey home for good because that's the only way there's going to be peace. And let him realize that there's more to Dale than just pulling the trigger of an M16. So, basically, so there are 5 days in a week and then 3 days to the weekend. So the 5 days uh, of the week are New Dale, uh, Build Dale, no, Design Dale, Build Dale, or Hump Dale, then Aim Dale, and Fire Dale. And so that's so basically, every week we're redesigning a better bullet for Fred's M16 because Dale is the bullet of Fred's M16,
Yeah.
and then we have the weekend, and the weekend consists of 3 days: weekend, game day, and Sabaoth. So weekend is when Dewey Death appears to execute the weekly victim, the weekly criminal that deserves the Dewey Death M16. So that's what we do on the weekend. I should say that in order to be true to this calendar, the Do Andrew conspiracy is going to be broadcasting only on the weekend, which is the fifth day of the week, and Design Day, which is where we design what's going to happen for the week. So we're going to be separating 4 days between sessions. But so anyway, the weekend, Dewey Death comes, fires the execution shot at whoever's is the unlucky recipient, and of course there is no death, so the Dewey death just means that that influence, that spirit is terminated on Earth,
Yeah.
so, on Gaia.
No, it's a
And
period. It's like a cleansing of anything that's
right.
sort of built up. Yeah. Yeah.
And then game day is whatever you want to, whatever game you want to play. Whether it's I mean, this is the day football games will go on. You know, I mean, baseball always is always going on, so that's different. But yeah, but whether it's a day you want to spend in front of you on your phone playing video games, or as I suggest, loving games with your partner. So, and then the uh, the last day, and this is really the key to the calendar because the biblical 7 days needs more time because it was based on the Sabbath, which was the day where you devote to God, and we've lost that in the modern world. So basically, what this calendar does is restore an eighth holy day to the week where you can dedicate yourself to the worship of of whoever you want, of the Lord that you want to. But this is actually the day where couples can really get to know each other deeply.
Yeah, I would say, you know, we can not necessarily use the religious structure and just call it a day of religious or not religious, spiritual
I,
maintenance.
I actually call it the day of partner worship.
Pardon,
Partner worship.
partner worship. Okay, that's fun. Whatever. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you
So,
explain. No, that's
just to recap, we have new, design, builder, hump, uh, aim, fire, weekend, game, and Sabayoth.
yeah. I think there's an interesting rhythm to that. I mean, it would definitely be fun to try. I mean, it is. We're gonna try it. We are going to experiment with it, so it will be fun to try. And to actually operate our podcast schedule in the new calendar. Um, yeah, I'm ready. I need to have Google just finally give us a calendar option. Let us create our own, and then I can have it in my
Right,
phone too. Uh, I'm
right,
sure some app builder could make that for us super easy. We're gonna have to figure that. We're gonna have to figure that out because, like,
right,
like if we could put an app in the stores that has like your own calendar, so you don't
right,
have to like constantly adjust, to whatever that shit was.
right.
That's
Well, that happened to me yesterday. I had to ask Empress whether it was Thursday or Friday. I'm saying I'm aligning with two calendars right now. I don't know what day it is.
yeah. Well, I also don't usually care what day it is, but part of a new paradigm, part of taking over the takeover is that little mechanism of, well, let's shift our structure a little bit, right? Let's play around with time and space since we created it. And one really simple way is to like rethink a calendar that clearly makes no sense, like none,
Right.
and explore how life could change with something as seemingly simple as that, but also maybe it just starts to free up the mind to imagine. That's my point.
Well, and it also gives the world a mission every week.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love the rhythm to that, and that's that cyclical nature to so much of life, right? And it's nice to kind of. I mean, we did the chakra retreat, right? And we had a day for each chakra, and so a day for different like rhythms of life. Seems like it could make a lot of sense, and it would bring more like attention to it, or it would become maybe more cultural, more shared potentially, right?
And,
And
and
yeah,
when the new currency comes into effect, people really can spend all their day making love to their partners.
yeah, for
The,
sure.
well, my first roommate in the program was this artist named Herc Kirk. His name was Seldom Sayer Kirk, and people called him Seldom Dare. But anyway, everybody called him Herc, and his goal in life was 24-hour a day orgasm, and he was always like interrogating me on how to achieve that.
24-hour a day work,
Orgasm.
orgasm. I'd just suggest hanging out in the kingdom. I think that's about as close as you're gonna get.
Right,
But
right.
what do I know about it?
Just one thing about the kingdom is personal, but what I call the realm is omniversal. Everyone in the kingdom of the Lord is a king or a queen. So basically, that everybody has their own kingdom, but the amalgamation of all the kingdoms together is the realm that I talk about.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's a definition. Woo wee.
So, shall we? shall we close with the last poem, or shall we just get going? Uh, let's not break routine. So, actually, this is something that I found that I wrote in 2 days before my birthday last year, and it's called "A Snippet of Metaphysical Verse." Because life is mere complex game, there is never a cause for shame, or to make excuses that are lame, about why you are playing small when all are asked to answer call of God to neutralize the fall of first parents from paradise, though everybody has a vice, but life's not a roll of the dice, since Lord definitely has planned for final salvation of man, doing whatever a person can to bring to others divine light, so in darkness they will have sight coming from night into daylight bright, celebrating illumination, a gift of predestination, living with determination.
Very on theme. I like it. I like it. Beautiful, Dale. Yeah, I actually wrote a poem at the retreat, and then I left my notebook there. But Dijon said he found it, so
Good.
I could probably recreate it if I really tried. But it's right there, so hopefully I'll get it back and I'll read it on the show.
Have them text. Was it long?
No,
Just have them text or email it to you.
right. We'll get it. We'll get it. But thanks for sharing your offering. And like I said, we got Live Love for all those who wanted to explore. He just gives a free call to chat, so it's like pretty low commitment. And you can see if it's something that might be a good fit or that might be helpful for you in your journey with someone with that diagnosis of schizophrenia.
But I just I had like probably like 3 phone calls this week, which is more than I've had ever, basically. For a long time anyway. But the thing I find is that people talk to me for say 20 to 30 minutes, and then I tell them about Live Love, and they say, but everybody says not at this time, and it just is very frustrating to me because not only is schizophrenia a time bomb, and you really need to immerse yourself in how to deal with it, but also, it's just like sort of, I mean, it's not, I don't mind giving free advice, but the free advice I can give in 10 minutes, knowing nothing about your situation, is definitely very different than from the help the transformation I can bring about if you go through. Just to make it clear, I also have like a package of 3 sessions for $2.99. You can arrange.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think there's a lot to it, but I mean, I think you said it's starting to trickle in. You're exploring new ways to communicate it and to access a new audience with it, and so it will continue to evolve. I'm sure as that evolves.
And the other thing is, no one has ever done it before.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, if you had a psychotic son, would you like go to a schizophrenic with a history of like chronic THC use to advise you on how to communicate with your son? I think logically, a lot of people say that's crazy, that's psychotic. But ultimately, it could be the only answer
Well,
because
the point is, we're all here to offer our medicine, and you can say that it's to go to a school and read a book and get a degree and put letters after your name and all that shit. That's fine. But you can also say, hey, there's someone with lived experience who he's having a human experience, undeniably so, and is attached to reality in a way that is unique, but also you know, a perfectly lovely expression of what it is. And so to me, if I was someone who's with someone who is struggling to have a human experience, to be here, I would let go of any prejudgments and just observe what is in front of me.
Well,
This.
that's why I offer the three package, you know. But
Yeah.
the most important thing I figured out isn't what I've been through. It isn't my history. It isn't my knowledge of the illness. It's my presence. I just know I have a very calming, understanding presence, and that I listen well. And that's all I really need. And that and whatever people's prejudice or biases, they're going to have it. But I know that what I'm doing is unique and also extremely important. And I have absolutely no idea it's going to take off.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so with that, I think we can like get going, Andrew. But as ever, a great show. I think we made some important points, and I can't recap them at the moment because of my 70 years old Swiss cheese memory. And
Stop. Stop. Don't say that. We. I mean, it's a channeling. A lot of this. That's how I feel about it. And so channeling isn't always recalled in the moment. Sometimes I gotta watch the episode again and be like, oh yeah. So I think that's pretty normal. I don't. And
right.
so I would assign it more to the flow state that we're in when we're recording than the other thing you mentioned.
Well, I just think about my first real podcast, which was "Nothing Changes as Nothing Changes" with this Australian shaman who studied in Peru for like 5 years, and and you know, people would ask me what we talked about. I have no idea. It's just like, but we would go on for like an hour and a half, and it's like, and unfortunately, one of my big disappointments is that it never got published. I mean, we did like 36 episodes and never got published. So and now he's out. He doesn't seem to want to talk to me. So
Well, that's why we keep it simple and we keep it raw and real, and we just hit send. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
because getting it published is sometimes the hardest part.
well, that's why we publish episode on a regular subject on a regular schedule.
Yeah, that too, for sure. Woo! All right, Mr. Do. I think we did it.
I think so. I would say this was a good deal session, and so it's now Saturday in the old calendar. So I might go down to the smoke shop and see what they offer. But otherwise, I've been cutting down actually. I'm finding that I smoke a joint, and I'm perfectly content to do things for like 5 6 hours, instead of like having to do it like every 2 hours or whatever. So that's a positive thing. I really feel that I've overcome the addiction, and now I can really enjoy it as a aid to my understanding of myself.
I love that. Yeah, that's a beautiful way to finish.
Okay, everybody. Well, thanks very much, everybody, for attending. Subscribe, share, and Andrew and I are always glad to be able to have you join us, and just keep those numbers rising. And we are determined to be bigger than Rogan by July 4th of next year. And that's actually when I'm planning to have my 6 nights of poetry at Madison Square Garden.
Absolutely. Sounds right. Spreading that light. Always light, everyone. We love you.
Always light.